What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Live from San Diego Comic-Con 2014, presented by Lucy and the Evil Within. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next 3 days, we have so much amazing stuff for you. Video games, demos, movies, celebrities, TV. It's all right here. You don't have to go any further. I have a panel of experts from IGN LA who I'll get to in 1 second. But first, let's look at the schedule for what is coming up on IGN Live here. There's a whole bunch of amazing stuff today. First off, we're kicking off right now, of course, with the preview of everything you can expect. Then we're moving into the games of San Diego Comic-Con. Then, Robert Kirkman, yes, The Walking Dead, Joshua. He's coming in.
He's going to be here, man.
I cannot wait. Then some guy named Adam West. Never heard of. No, Batman himself, Adam West, Into the Storm, Bayonetta 2, and that's only up to 2:15. That's 1 hour and 15 minutes from now. There's so much
quality
more coming
programming.
up. I cannot believe it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure if you want to be part of the show, we need your help. Go to Facebook and like IGN. Then make sure you put up your post, hashtagging it, IGN Live. We call your questions out of the crowd. You get to be internet famous for a little bit. Speaking of internet famous, Greg Way, joined by IGN LA. I miss you guys so much. This is Eric. He's a TV guy. He's amazing. This is Jim. You also know him sometimes. Sax. He's here. Right. He's great. And down here, Joshua. Comics. Rolled up sleeves. I love it very much.
Oh, nice.
Guys, so much amazing entertainment and stuff is happening today. I want to hit on it, and I want to know all the big things. Tell me a little bit about these Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What are they doing at Comic-Con right now?
Well, today is the Paramount Pictures panel, and Ninja Turtles is a big showcase for that. That's the, of course, Michael Bay produced reboot. It opens up August 8th. And I believe that Megan Fox and possibly Will Arnett are going to be in Hall H.
Whoa.
And giving fans a sneak peek at the movie. Now, we got to see that footage last week at a press event. We do have a write-up of what they showed on the site, IGN.com/movies.
Thank you.
And then, of course,
good job with the plug.
A little, you know, you get I've seen enough talk shows. I know how this works. And then also later today, for Turtles fans, is a documentary about Turtles fans. It's called Turtle Power.
Oh, neat.
And so if you guys want to get your full Turtle fix today, Paramount panel in Hall H, and then the Turtle Power panel.
Yep.
So that's more fan service. No big announcements we have to worry about for what's happening with the team?
For Turtles?
Yeah, anything?
No.
Good. That's what I'm glad. There's enough big stuff.
Yes.
The movie's
The
almost
movie
out.
exists.
Come on,
very
Michael
close.
Bay. Calm down. I think the big buzzword, you saw it on the thing there, we have Adam West coming on.
Yeah.
It's the 75th anniversary of Batman. Tell me a little bit about what, I mean, Batman touches all of you.
Oh, yeah.
Gotham, Batman versus
Yes, he
Superman.
does.
Batman has touched all of
We
us.
love him for it.
And then, of course, the Batman comics and everything else.
Yeah.
Joshua, what can we expect for the 75th anniversary here at Comic-Con for Batman?
Well, today there's going to be a huge panel with past, present, future Batman, people who made a big impact on the comics. It's Jim Lee, Neil Adams, and Scott Snyder, and even more names.
Frank Miller, I think, right?
Yeah, yes, Frank Miller as well. So it's going to be huge. All those guys in the same room talking about Batman. I can't wait.
What about announcements there? Like, this is where it gets weird, right? Gotham's still coming up. They have their own stuff planned in the future, right? Not today.
Right. Gotham's a couple days away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And then on the movies front, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Yeah.
That is expected to be sort of the big surprise of the Warner Brothers panel, which
Expected surprise.
Expected surprise,
Yes.
which I think we all know they have to do something.
Right.
Yeah.
But you know, that will be on Saturday, I believe, 10 a.m. to noon in Hall H. But right now, if you go to the DC Comics booth on the showroom floor, you will see, and we're going to have some pictures of this up on the site and on our social media accounts. They have Ben Affleck's cowl and cape. And the detail of which is kind of astounding. They gave Batman crow's feet.
He's
just
older.
because he's supposed to be older Batman.
That's why you gotta know.
Even his mask got old.
he's not a spring chicken anymore.
It's very cool
not.
that display too, because there's they've got Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, and Bale's costumes there, and then it's like, hey, and here's the next Batman too.
Yeah,
kind of
they
stuff.
didn't deny the Clooney one. And
Yeah.
of course, we said
I was
Adam
surprised
West.
to see that thing.
Yeah.
We have Adam West coming up, and he is also at Hall H, I believe, for the Batman 66 TV series coming to Blu-ray and
Finally.
DVD finally after all the legal brouhaha.
Yeah.
That's done, and I believe Julie Newmar, Catwoman, and Burt Ward, Robin, are going to be. It's going to be Batman, Robin, and Catwoman on stage.
God dang, son, that is a hell of a
They
panel.
bring more, except everyone else is dead.
You didn't.
I'm just
You
saying.
didn't
that's
have to
what
bring
happened.
the room
Oh,
down.
no, I didn't. Somewhere, somebody out there is laughing at me.
So doubling back a little bit. Now, you know, I am, of course, a sucker for the Batman Superman movie. I love DC Comics. I don't know if you know this about me, Eric. I don't know if I tell you about it enough. You're talking about Saturday. That'll be when we hear something, maybe a surprise. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? I want to hear from everybody. You all know Batman, Superman. You all know this movie. What do you expect to actually see, Eric?
I mean, I think they have to show some footage simply because the movie's been shooting for several weeks now.
Yeah.
And we've had movies come to Comic-Con that have been shooting for 1 week and, like, you know, going back to X-Men 2 and be like, here's something cool. So they've been shooting for so long that they've got, and it's you know, Jim was saying, it's like, even if they showed us 15 seconds, it would be like, oh my God, if it's Batman and Superman looking at each other.
Right, their first movie.
Yeah, I mean, Captain America, the first Avenger, did basically a camera test they showed in one scene of Red Skull, and that was pretty much enough to whet fans' appetites. I think they're going to take a page from the Marvel playbook and have the cast come out and do a wave the way Avengers did a few years ago, where they didn't really show much, but just seeing all these heroes assembled together for the first time on stage, seeing Affleck and Cavill and Gal Gadot, and maybe finally we'll see Jason Momoa come out. And,
Aquaman.
And
Strongly rumored to be Aquaman.
and if Dwayne Johnson is really Shazam, maybe he'll pop up.
That would be great. That would be awesome. And then Ryan Reynolds shows up, and they're like, get out of here.
They're like, nobody
Hey
invited
guys,
him.
remember me? No, bad Ryan Reynolds. Get back there.
And maybe
they've got
Wonder
to show.
Woman.
They've got to show Wonder Woman's costume.
Yeah.
Do you think that happens, Joshua?
I feel like that's going to happen. Live Justice League in the flesh, all together assembled, just like we saw the Avengers, and Wonder Woman's costume. That would be the biggest
Which
thing.
I bet they'll immediately release as like a viral image.
Oh, of course.
Or maybe the official site will finally launch or something.
Man, I tell you what, I might just take off my microphone and walk off. Walk off into the sunset, because that's all little Greg Miller has ever wanted. My final question about Batman versus Superman. You're talking about the Batfleck cowl being down there. Is it blue? Is it black? There's all these rumors.
It's like it didn't look that different from the other Batman
Except the ears.
Except the ears.
Yeah.
But they,
Small
you
ears.
know, the thing that actually irked me.
Yeah.
They went back to the thick neck. It's very Michael Keaton.
Oh, so he can't turn his head?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a different form of rubber or whatever. But I'm like, you've just solved that for 2 movies where Batman could be, hey Batman, and he could just turn his head.
Yeah.
But you know, the way Snyder composes his shots. Everybody is very statuesque. Maybe he doesn't need to whip his head around and stuff, you know? Maybe it's just
Hero
more for
shots.
portraiture,
Okay. Eric.
Yes.
What's happening with Halo Nightfall?
Halo Nightfall, you know, I mean, it's a semi-mysterious project in that, you know, we hear they've been shooting it. They just released a image. And the weirdest thing, of course, is that there's sort of the dueling Halo projects. The Halo Nightfall is the one from Ridley Scott. They both have amazing people attached, right?
Yeah.
There's also the Halo TV series that Spielberg's producing. So hopefully at this Halo Nightfall panel, we'll get a better sense of what it is and how it all connects together. Because it sounds like they're building a pretty big, you know, branching out of the series here, because they say Halo Nightfall takes place between Halo 4 and 5. And then there's the TV show, and they're all going to kind of, it's almost like Star Wars or Marvel, how they're like connecting out these different pieces. The other thing I want to know is, how are we going to get it? Because they keep calling it a digital feature, which is a very
what is
strange
that?
term.
Yeah.
I think it's a web series.
Yeah.
But they're not using
I
that
think
term.
digital feature sounds a little more high class than web series.
Right.
Web series sounds like you and I are just shooting something in our basement.
Yeah. Or a digital
Eric and Greg's
feature.
crazy web series.
Yeah. So I would bet we get some footage, and then maybe just a little more clarification on what the bigger, broader plans are for Halo, branching away from the games into all these other things.
So is Master Chief in Nightfall?
I mean, he's not. I don't think he's not the main character, but it's almost like Forward Unto Dawn, where they had him pop up. It's like, I feel like he'll,
Right.
they'll weave him in there somehow.
I mean, how hard is it right now to do what they're trying to do?
It's very difficult, and of course it's weird timing, right? Because they just shut down the whole Xbox Entertainment Studios, but then they also clarified that they were still going ahead with these projects that were already. So that's a little weird, because they have to put on a complete sort of like everything's okay, even though
everything's awesome.
right. Even though maybe it's not. It's very difficult. You know, it's like we just joked about Green Lantern, which is a movie that ends with a cliffhanger for a sequel we'll never get.
Thank God.
So Halo's already so well established with the games. It's not like Halo's going away.
Sure.
Will these other series be successful and continue? That's the question. Or will it just be like, this never really took off? And the fact that they're doing 2 different ones is a little strange. But again, Ridley Scott and Spielberg. It's not like they got no one behind these.
They know some things. I guess. Now you talked about they released some images. The other big thing, Joshua, this next Avengers, this Age of Ultron. They've been putting out all sorts of images and teasers. I've been here checking the Twitter, trying to look at them all.
We've seen
Show me those thumbs.
tons of concept art. No actual image. We saw some actual shots earlier, but we saw Black Widow fighting like swarm of Ultrons, Scarlet Witch, Captain America, Iron Man. It sounds like there's going to be lots of robot destruction in this. Avengers versus the Transformers or something. I don't know.
So far it's been a couple of different character concept art, Comic-Con exclusive posters. We are that is going to be Marvel's big show, so I'm expecting that we might just get almost everybody. I would hope
to see
at the
Vision
panel
in some way.
Oh, yeah.
I
He's
know,
the one
that's-
we have not seen.
I know
Yeah.
that one is the one I'm. And they did acknowledge in a recent interview that Jarvis and the Vision are one and the same, so they might explain how that came to pass.
I'd also recommend just people who are on the con floor keeping an eye on the Marvel booth, because the last few years what they've been doing is every day at the con they'll swap out props and vehicles from their upcoming projects.
The Infinity Gauntlet
right.
there ones.
Last year they had like the Nova costumes from Guardians,
Right.
and then they had the Captain America Winter Soldier costume.
Yeah.
So I'm sure maybe that's how we get Vision. Something
That
like
would be
they
awesome.
could
Cool.
do some sort of
As long
cool
as he has the
reveal of it.
cape.
Let's leave
I'm
this
happy.
right now.
Right,
Jack.
right.
Come on.
Everybody just go off.
We all
right
have to
now.
be
Yeah.
there.
Well, we're outta here. So the panel we're talking about where we'd get some more Avengers stuff, not today, right?
No.
No,
That's another one?
that is also Saturday. That closes out Hall H that day, and so it'll be the DC stuff. Lunchtime, come dinner time. That's Marvel.
All right. Joshua, what are the big Marvel comics, real quick, that you're going to see? Is there anything happening with them today?
For today, they're doing a panel that's titled Access, which is their next big event where the Red Skull gets Professor X's powers, and he starts mind controlling people to get an army and to take on everyone from Iron Man to Nightcrawler, and the Avengers and the X-Men have to team up to stop him. It's going to be awesome, so I want to hear more about that. But I have to think, with Ultron, big movie for him coming out next year, they've got to announce some Ultron comics, so I'm expecting that as well.
All right. Real quick, for the Access guy, you're sure he's not the Access guy who can go between the DC and Marvel?
I
universe?
brought
I
brought that same
He
thing.
got his power from a homeless man.
Yeah. He's still out there, man.
Rounding out stuff that's going to happen today, The Walking Dead. Obviously, Kirkman coming on here in a second. We're all going to pick his brain.
Yeah, there's
Tie him up.
There's
Yeah,
a huge
zombie thing. That's
Yeah. What else are we going to get today, Joshua? for The Walking Dead?
For the comics, there's a big Walking Dead panel, just about the Walking Dead comic, and they just wrapped a huge event, All Out War, and so we're expecting to see, what comes next. How do you follow up a big event like that?
Sure,
so
sure.
That's what we want to know.
And then what do we expect for TV this time around?
For Walking Dead or Sure. Walking Dead. I mean, Walking Dead isn't today. The TV panel isn't today. But Walking Dead has the benefit of having shot for several months now, unlike most TV shows that come here.
Yeah.
So they always debut like a pretty cool big new trailer. So I'm guessing we'll get that once again.
Okay.
Yeah.
No new characters?
I'm sure there will be. Based on where they have to deal with the threads from the end of last season. So I don't know if we'll get them right away.
Right.
But I think there'll be a lot of new footage, and maybe they will tease a couple new characters as well.
Real quick, what are the hot TV things you're looking for that you get to talk about?
Today, Penny Dreadful, love that show. They're doing a panel
coming
today.
on here too, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And then Hannibal, one of the best shows on TV. When we have the people here, we'll talk in depth about that cliffhanger. But right now, I'll just say crazy things happen. So I think that panel is going to be a very hot panel to find out what happens next. And Star Wars Rebels, who are also coming here today, is actually going to not only have a panel, but a premiere screening tonight. Like, people have the first chance to see Star Wars Rebels, only a lucky few.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, because this is the beginning of the new era of Star Wars, really.
The new era begins today, and that's exciting. Thanks for watching it here on IGN. Let's go see what you're saying on Facebook. Remember, go like IGN. Then give us questions like Shannon did. What do you hope is announced this year at Comic-Con? That's a huge question. Good Lord.
Green Lantern reboot.
Yeah? For the movie?
I would love that. Not going to happen, but
Of course not.
one can
I don't
hope.
know.
Well, as far as Marvel goes, I think we have to hope for some upcoming movies, right? Like what heroes do you want to see get a movie?
I think at this point, we know Doctor Strange is that film is happening. It's going to shoot early next year. So that I'm sure they'll finally say, okay, that 2016 really that's Doctor Strange,
Yeah.
And I think that we'll get some definitive announcements on movies for at least the next 2 years, but they don't have to announce everything. We know that they have release dates planned out to 2019. They're gonna drag this out. I mean, we came here 3 years ago thinking they were gonna explain what all the Phase 3 films were. They didn't. I've been burned twice now.
They won't burn you again.
They
and
won't
ladies and
hurt me
gentlemen, we'll
anymore.
never burn you. Make sure you keep it right here. I mean, congratulations. You've made it through the first segment of IGN Live, San Diego Comic-Con. There are about 1 million more to go, so never click away for the rest of time. Never leave us. Here are some messages. We'll be right back.